Nigerians, you're specially welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time coming across this channel, I say you all are specially welcome. I remain your humble sister from another mother. My name is still Her Excellency of the Federal Republic of my Kingdom, Tahila the Great. Okay, back to our Ogbonge news of today. The question is that, as a giant of Africa, how long are we going to continue doing the wrong thing to destroy our generation and unborn generation? Because whatever you people are doing today, you are not only destroying our generation, but it's affecting our unborn generation. Because by the time we see white, we want to turn it to black. Recently, election observers held a press conference where one of them was challenging the report they submitted to INEC, this particular guy that had book. I posted that video on my YouTube channel. You can go to my YouTube channel. You get the detail of the video, how the guy spoke and challenged the report of the observers that submitted to INEC. And after that report, that was shortly after that, we now saw when the European Union brought out their own report about the 2023 general election. And the only report that is generating issue right now is the report of the European Union. Now, the video you're about to watch is political parties gathering themselves to say that they are not satisfied about the European Union report. They are even saying, Muna live now our country, this now our country. We know how to manage ourselves. Anything we'll see, we know how to manage ourselves. How bad? Are they shameful now? Guys, let's listen to the detail of their own press statement. Let's discuss at the comment section. Keep watching, I'll be right back.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, as winner. Tongues have been wagging and discussions have continued around the process. Recall that on the 28th February 2023, when the collation of the results from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory for the presidential election ran into logjam at the International Conference Center, Abuja, IPAC, after due consultations, intervened and encouraged INEC to continue with the process in order to guarantee the survival of democracy in Nigeria. The two major opposition parties, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the Labour Party, LP, and their presidential candidates, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, respectively, as well as about 3 other political parties, disagreed with the outcome of the elections and have since gone to the Presidential Election Tribunal to challenge it. The elections have been described by some local international observer missions as having fallen below the minimum standard of what free, fair, and credible elections should be. As the tribunal's decision is being awaited, the honestness around discussions on the election's outcome appeared to have been stirred once more with the recent release of the final report on the findings by one of the foreign elections observer missions, the European Union Election Observation Mission, on the February 25th and March 18 elections. The EU EOM, which worked for 3 months in Nigeria between January 11 and April 11, 2023, had a total of 110 accredited observers from 25 EU member states, as well as other countries. The mission, that's EU, offered 23 recommendations for consideration by the Nigerian authorities as part of its contribution to improve the future elections in Nigeria. IPAC has noted the content and recommendations of the EU EAM report and other reports and will respond as active and most critical stakeholder in the electoral process within the fortnight. IPAC has put in place a committee to carry out a thorough review of 2023 election with a view to engender dialogue between all stakeholders on electoral reforms to achieve improved democratic practices in Nigeria. Compared to some previous elections, IPAC is of the opinion that the 2023 general election was one of the most meticulously prepared for in recent times. Also, the unprecedented enthusiasm demonstrated by the Nigerian youth who trooped out in their numbers despite structural and procedural challenges were largely responsible for some of the positive developments. INEC should be praised for the technological innovations introduced, especially in the accreditation of voters using the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, which has generally been scored very high by voters. It is on record that the success rate for BVAS accreditation stands at 98% compared to the smart card readers, 29.2% during 2019 general elections. Also, the unprecedented turnout of the youth yearning for change against the status quo resulted in 5 political parties producing state governors, 7 parties won senatorial seats, 8 are represented in the House of Representatives, and 9 in state houses of assembly. Clearly, the 10th National Assembly is certainly the most diverse in party representation since 1999. In some states around the country, different political parties control the legislative and the executive arms of government. What is clear from these records also is that the days of single party dominance of our national politics are probably gone. Furthermore, many prominent candidates lost in their constituencies they contested, and political parties lost in some of their presumed strongholds. IPAC will be glad to share with you at the official presentation of our findings in few weeks the way forward for the growth of democracy in the most populous nation on the continent of Africa. Thank you for listening to me. We actually take exception to such pronouncements before the conclusion of the tribunal cases because, like you rightly said, it is prejudice to do that, and that's why we didn't want to dabble into such issues, because we are affected directly. So perhaps EU, not being a direct participant, in the cases, perhaps can make such pronouncements that they have made. But in our own particular case, we cannot. You can start correcting, anything at all. So we don't, because we are coming out with observations as to how we can deepen democracy and ensure that the process is much more freer than it was, hitherto. So that's what our report is all about, is how do we take it from where we are now, because yes, there are encumbrances, on the system. Some are intended, and to correct such systems or such processes, you need to take a stock and do a thorough, examination of what must have happened, so that you will now be able to chart a way forward that will take cognizance of everything. That those who rush to give the reports, perhaps they are not as critical to the process as we are, because we are the political parties. Every other person is talking about us, directly or indirectly, because we were the players, we were the ones that were affected directly, and so therefore you can't cry, more than the bereaved. That's the issue, isn't it? So we believe that our report will be a very, very thorough and comprehensive and down-to-earth report that will help the cause of democracy in Nigeria. We are not just, we don't want to play to the gallery. We don't have anybody to impress than ourselves. So that's why we believe, no matter how much time it takes us, it will be a job well done. It's a fundamental issue. You can't have somebody taking part as an active participant in an exercise, and then he is the one now that will appoint the people officiating and then declaring the results of that exercise. How do you come by free and fair and then credible results in that instance? But it's not the fault of those who are there today. It's the fault of us, we Nigerians. We should do. That's why People talk about ambiguity in the law, talk about issues that we should really interrogate, and then do what we believe is the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to have somebody who will be truly independent, not only in name but in action, by way of his being, his independence. And then if any institution should be independent in Nigeria, I think it's INEC, because everything begins from there. If we can get it right there, everything about issue of corruption, issue of all the things we are battling with would have solved then, with just that one modification or amendments to the electoral or to the constitution. So many things are there that are critical and very important, and we can't rush over such things. It requires really deep studies, to see how do we really take care of our peculiarities, because that also is there. We're a peculiar country. Nigeria is a country that different from all other countries, and we must come up with something that addresses those peculiarities that define us as a different nation from others. That's why we accept, we note the observations of EU and all other observers. But like you rightly said, we are the critical stakeholders. What we say matter, because we are the ones that are affected directly. So ours should not be the one coming before others, and ours should not be rushed.
Chairman.
Any observation at all, talk less of EU, because like I've said, we just note it, that what they have said, we note it. Anybody can make observations, an opinion, and people are entitled to their opinion. You can't take it away from them. But we, as the critical stakeholders, we have our own opinion. We know what we need. We know what has happened. We know what went wrong. We know how to correct it. And that is why we are not so much bothered about what any other person may say. Not even EU. Any other person can say whatever they like. That's why I say you can't cry more than the bereaved. We here are the bereaved. So we know what we are. We know what has happened. We know what to do, and we are already doing it. We are studying. We are working to see that we come up with something that everybody will now know that yes, going forward, democracy will prevail in Nigeria. So, and then your other question was,
how do we manage reports?
Yes. No, that's why I said we have noted.
Your first question.
Yes.
Answered the second.
Exactly. We have noted the observations.
So thank you.
You guys are just romancing this situation. There should be punishment for any electoral offenders. Just like what the Observer said. I posted that video. If you go to my YouTube channel, you see it. Where he's challenging the report that it was submitted concerning the 2023 general election. That guy that is holding book challenging the report. So go to my YouTube channel. You see it there. You can watch it to get the detail of how he was challenging the report. And right now, you people are just romancing the situation, saying you are not satisfied with European Union organization reports. Meanwhile, one of your same observer challenged you people's reports. Guys, Nigeria matter, you choke. Let's discuss at the comment section. See you there, and thanks for watching.